We are counting down the 9 Japanese habits that quietly build real wealth. No luck, no lottery, no burnout required. From ancient spending rituals that slash your bills to mindset shifts that turn simple daily choices into long-term financial security, these habits challenge everything about flashy, fast money culture. Each one ranks higher for its power to boost savings and reduce stress, with the biggest compounding payoff at number 1. Let us start the countdown with number 9. Wabi-sabi is an old Japanese philosophy that finds beauty in the imperfect and the unfinished. Its roots stretch back to Zen Buddhist tea ceremonies where cracked pottery and weathered wood were not hidden. They were celebrated for their patina and history. In those quiet rooms, the goal was not to impress with flawless surfaces, but to create peace with what is already there. This mindset stands in stark contrast to the endless upgrade culture that dominates much of the modern world. Social media and home makeover shows constantly push the idea that every scratch or faded color is a problem to fix, not a memory to honor. One couple faced the urge to spend $45,000 on a kitchen renovation, chasing a vision of perfection they saw online. Instead, they embraced wabi-sabi, kept their lived-in table, and invested the money. 20 years later, that decision could mean about $120,000 added to their net worth without a single new cabinet. Wabi-sabi is not about settling, it is about seeing enough as beautiful and freeing yourself from the stress and cost of constant comparison. Canceling the chase for perfect can be the most valuable upgrade of all. Kintsugi is the centuries-old Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with urushi lacquer and powdered gold, turning cracks into shimmering seams. Instead of hiding the damage, Kintsugi honors it, making the object more valuable than before. This repair-first mindset is not just for tea bowls, it is a powerful way to build wealth in daily life. Take jeans. A tailor can fix a rip for $15 to $40, while a new pair often runs $60 to $100. That is at least $45 saved every time you choose to mend instead of replace. The same logic applies to appliances. A $100 repair keeps a dryer running compared to $600 or more for a new one. Over 5 years, putting $2,000 into car maintenance can keep a reliable vehicle on the road, avoiding $40,000 in new car costs. One man switched to repairs, spending $400 last year instead of $2,000 on replacements, a gain of $1,600. Before buying new, price the fix. The gold is in what you keep. Shogunai is a word heard across Japan during earthquakes, recessions, even in daily traffic jams. It means simply, it cannot be helped. Instead of fighting what is out of reach, such as market crashes, layoffs, and other people's success, it is about releasing the urge to control everything. This mindset does more than ease stress, it can break the cycle of emotional spending. One woman, overwhelmed by comparison and anxiety, found herself spending $600 a month on stress shopping, buying new clothes, gadgets, anything to feel in control. She started a simple exercise, 2 lists. On the left, everything she could not change, the economy, other people's choices, the past. On the right, what she could change, her spending, her savings, her habits. Each time she wanted to shop away her frustration, she checked her lists and redirected her energy. Within a year, that $600 a month became $7,200 saved. 3 years later, her bank balance showed $25,000, not from luck, but from letting go and focusing on what was hers to change. In Okinawa, elders have a simple saying before every meal. Hara hachibu, stop eating when you are about 80% full. This habit is not just about food, it is a blueprint for restraint that quietly multiplies wealth over time. Practicing hara hachibu means smaller portions, fewer restaurant splurges, and less money lost to medical bills. One man who was used to eating until stuffed was spending $800 a month on dining out and feeling sluggish. By ordering less and listening for that 80% signal, his bill dropped to $500 a month. That is $3,600 a year kept in his pocket. The change did not stop at the dinner table. 30 pounds lighter, his annual medical costs fell by $2,000. In total, One small habit freed up $5,600 every year. The last 20%, that extra helping, that bigger order, is where most of the cost hides but delivers the least satisfaction. Stop it enough and watch the savings compound. Gay man is the quiet art of endurance, a patience that runs deep in Japanese life, and a powerful tool for building wealth. After World War II, families across Japan practiced gay man every day, waiting in long lines for food, holding off on purchases, and saving whatever they could for the future. Today, this same discipline can be as simple as the 30-day rule. When something catches your eye, shoes, gadgets, a kitchen upgrade, put it on a wish list or in your online cart, then wait a full month. Most of those cravings fade. Behavioral scientists call this delay discounting, and studies such as the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment show that people who can wait for a bigger reward tend to do better financially over time. One woman who had been overwhelmed by impulse buying started the 30-day rule. She wanted 20 things that first month. By the end, only 2 still mattered. A year later, she had cleared $15,000 in debt without earning a penny more. The ability to wait is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger your finances become. Motenai is a word spoken in Japanese homes when food goes uneaten or clothes sit untouched at the back of a closet. It means more than what a waste. It is a call to respect the value in everything you own. Nobel Peace Prize winner Wangari Maathai carried Motenai to the world stage, turning it into a global slogan for reducing waste. In America, about a third of all groceries end up in the trash. That is like tossing every third paycheck straight into the bin. One man, curious about where his money was really going, took inventory of his home. He found $2,000 in unused tools, $3,000 in clothes with tags still on, and another $3,000 in forgotten gadgets. That added up to $8,000 of silent waste. He started a simple rule: before buying anything new, wait 30 days and use up what is already there. In 1 year, he saved $6,000 just by refusing to let his money rot in drawers or the fridge. Motenai is not about guilt, it is about recovering the value you already have and turning discipline into cash you can keep. In Okinawa, elders rarely talk about retirement. Instead, they live by ikigai, a sense of purpose that shapes each day, whether it is tending a garden, mentoring neighbors, or running a small shop well into their 80s. This is not just about happiness, it is a financial force. Research shows that people with a clear sense of purpose spend far less on coping. No more stress shopping, no expensive escapes, no late night takeout to fill the void. One man earned $80,000 in corporate America, but he spent over $11,000 a year on retail therapy, vacations, and convenience food to offset the grind. When he switched to teaching, a job that aligned with his passion and skills, his income dropped to $45,000 the first year, but his coping expenses vanished. By year 3, he was earning $60,000, saving $15,000 a year, and no longer needed to buy relief. Purpose does not just feel better, it changes the math of wealth. In 1904, Japan's first female journalist, Hani Motoko, introduced a simple tool that would quietly transform household finances, the keikeibo. This handwritten ledger became a staple in Japanese homes, not as a burden, but as a path to clarity and control. Every expense is recorded by hand and sorted into 4 buckets: survival, optional, culture, and extra. The act of writing slows you down just enough to notice patterns that slip by on auto pay. Research shows that people who keep a written spending log cut out 15 to 20% of unnecessary spending without changing their income or lifestyle. One woman found she was leaking $400 a month on forgotten subscriptions, $300 on impulse lunches, and $200 on unused apps. 6 months with Kakeibo gave her back $4,000. A year later, she had a $10,000 emergency fund. Same salary, different awareness. Buy a notebook tonight. Track every expense for 30 days. Review once a week. The palest ink really is stronger than the sharpest memory. Kaizen is the Japanese habit of getting a little bit better every single day. After World War II, this philosophy powered Toyota from a struggling factory into the world's most valuable car company. Not through giant leaps, but through relentless, tiny improvements. The math is simple but powerful. If you get just 1% better each day, by the end of a year, you are 37 times better off. In personal finance, Kaizen means starting with the smallest step possible, like setting up an automatic transfer of just $1 a day from checking to savings. That is $365 a year, almost painless. Take the money you have freed up from cutting waste, eating out less, or fixing instead of replacing, and let it grow. Redirecting just $5 a day, the price of a coffee, into an investment account adds up to $1,825 a year. At an average 8% return, that single move can quietly build to over $91,000 in 20 years. One woman started with $1 a day, bumped it to $10 over several months, and 5 years later had a $35,000 emergency fund. No windfalls, just steady progress. The secret is to start impossibly small, then nudge the number up as you get used to it. Quiet wealth does not come from luck or stress, it comes from letting tiny changes compound, day after day. Across all 9 habits, one pattern stands out. Wealth grows quietly through small, intentional choices, not luck or loud risk. Japan's approach proves that daily discipline and mindful contentment outpace flashy spending every time. In a world chasing quick wins, quiet wealth remains the most sustainable power.